Welcome to Books in Sum, your go-to for bite-sized book summaries.
Get Out of Your Own Way by Dave Hollis. The most important details in this book are that self-help is for people having a midlife crisis, looking to find themselves after losing touch with their true self 20 years ago, and that equating our personal value with our profession undermines our self-worth. Dave Hollis, a head of sales for the Walt Disney Company's movie studio, felt unhappy and unfulfilled after achieving life's big goals. He told himself that this was normal, and that he should get over it and get on with life, but he just couldn't shake how flat he felt. To silence the unhelpful voices in our heads, we need to commit to a journey of personal growth and discover what Eminem can teach us about vulnerability, how a well-meaning eavesdropper changed more than one life, and why we need to learn another language to have a successful relationship. Dave Hollis was a disgruntled sales executive at Disney who felt undervalued and unfulfilled. He resigned from Disney and took up the role of CEO at his wife's business, the Hollis Company. It was a challenge shifting from a mass media company to a small startup, but it taught him something important about himself. His value as a person didn't come from the size of his paycheck or his employer's prestige, but from being a loving, respectful individual who cared about the world around him. Dave's negotiating style made him seem unreasonable and callous, and this distanced him from others. Being honest about your weaknesses can give you a competitive edge. In the movie 8 Mile, two rappers compete in an underground rap battle, each trying to insult the other in improvised verses. Dave listened to Eminem's character, B-Rabbit, rapping about his girlfriend cheating on him and being the victim of a malicious assault, and was moved by the way he was owning his weaknesses. This was a turning point for Dave, who began presenting his weaknesses to whichever party he was negotiating with, framing those weaknesses as strengths. He was so happy with the outcomes of this new approach that he wondered if he could use it outside of the workplace. Back when he was in elementary school, Dave encouraged his son Jackson to run for class president, knowing from personal experience that it was an important learning opportunity for his son. Jackson lost his campaign, but Dave used the opportunity to teach his son that failing didn't make him a failure, and that failure doesn't kill you. In 2013, Dave and his wife, Rachel, decided to adopt a child. 3 years later, they got the call they'd been waiting for. Twin girls, only 4 days old and in need of a loving home. The girls had been with the Hollises for 5 weeks when another phone call changed everything. Their biological mother had abandoned them, and so the couple had to give up the little girls. Despite their heartbreak, Dave knew that they had to keep pursuing their dream and embrace failure as a mechanism for growth. Failure is still a major taboo in today's society, but by embracing things we're not naturally good at, we can defy social conditioning and discover hidden talents. Dave and Rachel were having lunch when a man sitting at the table next to theirs overheard the conversation and told them he was adopted. This reminded the couple of what they stood to gain if they pushed through the pain and found the little girl they'd eventually adopt. Courage, faith, and love had helped them survive the flood of pain, and in doing so, they knew they could survive anything. The key message is that we shouldn't assume we know what our partner needs, and that the more familiar we are with our partner's unique wiring, the more successful we will be. Dave and Rachel used the Enneagram to learn more about themselves and each other. This diagnostic test classifies your primary and secondary personality types, identifying how you behave when things are good and when you're under pressure. The book The 5 Love Languages also revealed that most couples don't share a love language. To be the best partner, you need to be able to play different roles at different times. Change is a normal part of any relationship, and to be better partners, we need to get comfortable with that. The strongest relationships are those where each partner can identify what the other needs and give it to them without assuming that they know best. When Rachel was in the early stages of negotiating to host a cable TV program, Dave learned a valuable lesson in not making assumptions. He pointed out that the odds of her landing the deal were about 3%, which made Rachel feel like Dave didn't have faith in her abilities. 6 months later, Rachel received a bracelet with a charm that read 3%. This bracelet was a reminder that she needed to have faith in herself, even when her husband didn't. To avoid making the same mistake as Dave, we should ask our partner what they need and be humble enough to listen to their answer. This will transform our relationship into a great one. In 2014, Dave's church community discussed their fears about police shooting African Americans, like 12-year-old Tamir Rice. As Dave took part in a workshop on racial reconciliation and listened to the stories his fellow worshipers brought back after a civil rights tour of the South, he realized that he didn't have the slightest idea about the true impact of racial prejudice. This awakening made Dave look at his workplace with new eyes, and he led initiatives to address the unconscious bias against women, people of color, and members of the LGBTQ community. To truly grow, we must challenge the thoughts that limit us and recognize that limiting beliefs are negative. When Dave's colleague suggested a race, he decided to challenge his lifelong belief that tall people couldn't run. With his colleagues' support, he began training and regularly entering races. Each race he completed was proof that tall people certainly can run. Our limiting beliefs cheat us out of fully experiencing life, as we think every experience will have the same outcome. The root cause of our limiting beliefs is fear of rejection, failure, or exposing ourselves as less than perfect. Recognizing your limiting beliefs is the first step on a much longer growth journey. And to overcome the thoughts that hold you back, you need to let go of your long-held positions and entertain the possibility that things can be different. Many of us fall into a funk at some point in life, even when things look great from the outside. This struggle occurs when we're no longer growing as individuals, so we need to accept that personal growth is the key. Taking small steps toward your goal will silence the voice in your head and open you up to discovering something wonderful. To stay on track while trying to live your best life, create your own operating principles and write down your principles. This will act as your compass if you ever lose your way.
We hope you found this summary helpful in your listening journey. If you're interested in diving deeper into the topic or getting your hands on the whole book, be sure to check the description below where we've included links to the book and other related products that may be useful to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest book summaries. And feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions or requests for books you'd like us to cover. Thanks again for tuning in and happy listening.